I'm particularly happy today to be talking with Gil Lee, co-founder and lead developer of Permax Perfusion software. I'm particularly interested in what Gil has to say because, as you know, I'm interested in U.S. developed products, and I'm also interested in perfusion. I know several perfusionists, and one of my childhood friends from school growing up is a perfusionist, and a rather well-known one. So it's a subject I know a little bit about. So I'm very interested in this, and I'm happy to have you here today, Gil. Gil is talking to us today from his office in New Jersey. How are you doing?
Doing well, Chris. How are you?
Great, thanks. So let's get right to it, Gil. I want to hear about Permax. How does somebody get the idea to make software for perfusion?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to talk on this topic, Chris. Good question to begin with. So I've had a number of software development engagements with various hospitals in the United States over the years. And it was through one of these engagements that I became aware of perfusion business in the cardiac surgery, I should say perfusion profession. I learned that the vast majority of the perfusionists out there do their record keeping manually, meaning with pen and paper. And a very small population of these professional folks avoid the inconvenience, inefficiency, and error-prone manual work through some type of automation. But it was limited to using rudimentary spreadsheets and macros at best. So I knew that there was a clear opportunity for an advanced software that will help them be more productive as they provide the patient care. And they can also perform the critical data capture in ways that promote accuracy, standardization, and even build a repository to to help institutions to analyze the data for process improvements. That led to creating Permax to do those very things.
Interesting. So can you tell me a little about the software? Is it just a database, or is it something any medical professional might use? Fill me in a little bit about what it does.
Sure. As its meaningful name suggests, Permax was developed specifically for the perfusionists. It is a software with a ton of sophisticated features designed for an easy and intuitive use by perfusionists. I work with highly trained and experienced perfusionists and industry leaders to design these features. It is a result of years of careful, persistent design efforts that have refined it to keep up with the industry standards and best practices in perfusion.
Excellent. Well, I must say you're braver than I, because you use the word perfusion multiple times, and I'm afraid to say it that I'll trip on it. So, you did very well on that answer. So perfusionists would use this software in the theater, in the operating room. And this is in lieu of paper and pencil. I have a perception that in the theater, particularly if a perfusionist is involved, there's a lot going on. I mean, so now we're taking this individual who's operating this machine that's very key to any kind of cardiac and transplant, number of different kinds of surgeries involve perfusion. So how do they do this at the same time that they're operating and controlling all this other stuff? How does that work?
That is a very realistic concern. So great question. So that is correct, Chris. They are quite busy in the OR, the perfusionists. While focusing on the patient's well-being, he or she has various physicians to collaborate with, a number of equipment to monitor and control, and so forth. But the fact of the matter is that they are expected today to keep records of some critical data points.
Okay.
And there are a number of entities that require them to do so, such as the hospital institution, certifying agencies, and regulatory bodies. And they are doing most of them manually, again, with pen and paper. So you can imagine how ineffective, error-prone, and cumbersome it would be to do so.
So you have compliance issues, quality, improved outcomes. There are benefits to this data collection that are there. It does produce that. So the software itself, is it proven? Is this something that's been field tested, battle hardened, all that stuff that they say? Is it tested in the field? Have perfusionists used it?
Yes, so you touched upon a very important point with regard to the benefits. You said that there must be benefits. I'd like to elaborate on that, and then I will pick up on the topic about the proven nature of the software. So the list of the benefits is rather extensive, Chris. First, you don't have the loose pen and paper hanging around the OR to deal with. And the data capture is much faster, complete, and consistent across the perfusionists in the department. The storage is immediate, permanent, and secure. And the data capture lays the foundation for infinite possibility of various reporting and analyses. These are in addition to a number of reports already built into the product, ranging from the perfusion record, which gives a comprehensive look at all there is to know about a perfusion case, to a number of performance improvement reports, examining the various data points under a microscope that the perfusion's industry's best practices call for around the perfusion events, blood gas management, cardioplegia, and a host of others, including perf score. We have recently added the ECMO module, which is a quite elaborate suite of features for the ECMO cases. Now on the proven nature of the software. The product has been in use for about 10,000 cardiac surgery cases up to this point for over a decade.
Wow.
I'm not aware of any one single software other than Permax that can make that statement in the perfusion industry. One institution that uses Permax has over 10 perfusionists, full-time staff, all of whom are expert users of the software, and I'm happy about that. And the chief there uses Permax to evaluate the individual perfusionists and the whole department's performance. And thus he's able to achieve continuous process improvements. And I'm very happy and proud about that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, you know, now we have to ask the $1 million question. And hopefully it's not $1 million. But most things come down to economics. You know, decisions are based largely on economics these days. The hospital's got to buy this software. I don't think you're running a charity. So there are probably, in addition to the quality and tracking benefits, I would suspect that there are some economic benefits. So
Correct.
What would the financial benefits to a hospital or surgical institution be to going with a product like Permax?
We feel that the return on investment in conjunction with Permax is quite achievable in a short amount of time. In fact, in a matter of months, as the investment for the product is nominal at best, in comparison to the likes of the SMSs and the EPICs. The productivity rise and the quality assurance and prevention of errors with the data capture combined very quickly more than pays for itself many times over.
And I imagine it's far cheaper than buying like an MRI machine or something. You know, it's a piece of equipment for a hospital is very expensive. So in the grand scheme, you're not in that scale. So
That is correct.
Your lead in investment is probably not gigantic. So you see a return within 3 or 4 months, typically.
Correct.
That's outstanding.
If not sooner.
That's great. Gil, I know your time today is limited, but I'd like to ask a favor. First of all, I'd like to do this again. I'd like to know a little more about the software if you're willing to do that.
Of
And
course.
I'd like to persuade you maybe to do a little demonstration. Would it be possible for you to maybe show us some features of the software and maybe give us a little insight into how it works?
I would be delighted to do so, Chris.
I'd love to see that. So let's plan to talk again soon.
Thank you very much. And again, great to be with you and the opportunity to share my my baby here with you and folks who are interested.
Thank you. It's great to talk about this. We've been talking with Gil Lee, lead developer of Permax Perfusion software. You can visit the company website at www.gylinc.com. Thank you for watching. This is Chris Rich of TeachU, bringing you more of my Made in the USA video series. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gil. Have a great day.
You as well, Chris.